Good evening, viewers. Doris Devereux here to tell you a tale of Irish conmen. A few years ago, I was at Point Leo and my mother rang on a Sunday and said she had men working there. I asked her what they were doing and she said painting the house. And I said, on a Sunday? And she said, yes, they've started and that's that. Their names are Tom and Harry, and I assumed the third one to be called Dick. The next day I couldn't go and see her as I was going into the city overnight. The following day I dropped in and I found a mess everywhere. Empty cartons of things, cigarette packets, even clothing, but no one in sight. The windows had been painted with the frames stuck down, painted over. And I said to my mother, where are they? And she said, they've gone to lunch. They'll be back soon. And I said, they're never coming back. So I had to take myself to the police station and give a statement. Fortunately, my neighbour next door, Mrs. Sharp, had taken down the number plate as they had hosed asbestos from the roof all over her garden and herself. I gave a statement to the police and they took it from there. The next day I was driving through Beaumaris and a vehicle was coming the other way. I noticed the registration number was the same as the conmen. I promptly pulled over, quickly did a U-turn and pursued the vehicle. My mother, who was in the passenger seat, said to me, what are you doing? And I said, I'm following them. And she said, they might recognize me. To which I replied, put your head down and keep quiet. I followed them along Park Road into Centre Dandenong Road. Along the way I rang in and spoke to Derek and told him that I was in pursuit of the conmen. He rang the police and they said she shouldn't be doing that. She has to be careful. Do they have guns? To which Derek replied, I don't think my wife has a gun. I lost them at the traffic lights. And those traffic lights took ages to change. But when they did, there were two ways which I could have gone. Unfortunately, I chose the wrong route. I had to go back home. I remembered the policeman told me they often hide out in caravan parks. So the next morning I said to Derek, we're going undercover to the caravan park to see if we can find them. We wore beanies to cover ourselves and look undercover. We took the dog also undercover. We went through the caravan park and I want to tell you there's some mighty strange people that live there. I saw a young man come out who fitted the description of young Dick. I told Derek and we waited out the front to see if he left. But he never came out and I had to go back home. I rang the police the next day and told them what I'd done. And they said, you can't do that. That's our job. And I thought to myself, if I don't do it, who will? I asked my mother, how did they get paid because you don't drive? And she said they took me to the bank and I drew the money out. I was horrified. $2,000 she drew out and paid. I went home disgusted. And the next day she rings and says, you might as well know I gave them more money. What? I said, how much? She said, $9,000. They drove me to the bank again. $9,000. I couldn't believe it. It was a shocking thing. But apparently we're one of the lucky ones. At least she got her fence painted and her house, albeit badly. And once we got the windows unstuck, we managed to live a normal life. The police phoned a couple of weeks later and said they'd caught the man. And I said, thank goodness. But they said, we let them go. And I said, what? Let them go? What on earth? And they said it was a civil matter between my mother and the con man on an agreed price. I said, they're not a real business. They're not real. But they said they couldn't do anything else. Thank you, viewers, for listening. And let this be a warning to all of you. Doris Devereux signing out.
Need to get the pitch. I need to get the camera set up for the tripod over here a bit more.